So last time we all met, you guys spent your time enjoying yourselves in the tavern and taking off into the city in the search of Grumbles, the kind of seer of sorts. And as you cried out your conspiracy theories and whatnots, you heard his cries above the crowds until you tracked him to kind of the northern part of the large cavern that makes up the Kingdom of Ember. And you kind of tracked him over to the bug farms, where the goblins that had moved in and trained all these kind of insects for the kobolds and such. And then you stripped Grumbles of his poor protective helmet, very tinfoil cap-esque, until he started having this prophetic vision in front of you all where he said all sorts of things, and then finally kind of dragging himself, shaking to it until he put it back on, and then seemingly not remembering any of you guys or what had just occurred. And then he kind of shambles off into the distance. You all kind of make your way back. You pass the Temple of Bahamut, where Starcaller kind of tells you about the Platinum Talons, and eventually you make your way back into the tavern, where you enjoyed some more drink and company until you settled down for the night to have your long rest. Now, I'm pretty sure I said you guys got all your long rests, and then you awake. However, there's one of you that doesn't really sleep or need to rest the entire night. Sephel.
Yes.
As you're meditating and you're mulling over the spells in your head and the arcane arts and whatnot, it feels like this expanse within your mind has slowly gotten bigger over time. Ever so slightly, but for some reason tonight, you really notice it. It's like you can see all about all the things swimming within your mind, and you just feel like you've entered into a bigger space. And it's like you hear in all sorts of different directions, coming like whispers, different voices touching you. And after a little bit, you're like, you kind of like shake your head. I imagine you come out of the meditation and you're like, what the fuck? And your kind of tentacled mouth feels a little different as well. You notice that there's two things amongst your four tentacles that seem to be wiggling with them as you kind of mull and move them. And you bring your hands up and you feel them, and it feels like there's two more very small growths appearing between the other four.
Like I'm
What's going through Sephel's hell?
Like I'm growing more tentacles?
It kind of feels like it, yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, can I like... Do they feel like, can I tug one? Does it feel like it's...
Yeah, you feel pain when you tug it a little bit. Like it's very small, but it definitely has the tip and like slight form of a tentacle. And there's two of them. They're kind of hiding under your larger ones.
What do I know about... Do I know anything about Mind Flayer anatomy? Or like, have I read anything on this?
You can try to recall some information. You can make a history or arcana check.
Okay. I will do I'll do history. Okay, all right. Respectable. 19.
Okay. You did you use your recall
I did not.
ability? Okay. You're thinking about it, and you're like, every depiction that I can recall in the smattering of memories that I have, I only remember there being mind flayers with 4 tentacles. And then you're seized by another memory, and it's more of like a flash. And you see this towering figure, and it's like you are prone looking up. There's this bright light behind it, and you see a couple mind flayers behind this more central figure, and you can tell that those are mind flayers. You can see their tentacles splayed, and then the one before in the middle has a staff, and he has 6 tentacles outsplayed, and he's larger than the others, but you don't recall this particular one, or if it's a subspecies. You're not sure, but you feel like you've seen one before.
Very weird. Okay. Yeah, I guess he'll sort of lock that image. Does it look... I mean, there's no recognition of this other mind flayer. So yeah, I guess he'll just lock the image of that one larger one in his brain, and he'll fixate on it.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what it means, what the difference is, why he has that image.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've probably spent your 4 hours in meditation, and you have this time to yourself. Do you do anything before the others awake? Do you stay within the room kind of pondering over your spells continuously, or do you leave?
Was there any library or some font of knowledge that we were pointed towards?
Yes, you actually visited the library last time, and
That's
you
right.
went over the recent notes of the red slots.
That's right, we did do that. I think in like the wee hours of the morn, he's just carried by that image. Okay. And he hates not knowing. He hates being on the precipice of knowledge and not having an answer. And he kind of hates not being the one to give himself that answer, but he's still going to, like, after stewing on it for so long, I do think he's going to sneak out and go back to the library again.
Okay.
And see if he can maybe find something.
Sure. So you exit the room, trying to be quiet, I presume?
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to be, like, overly stealthy. He certainly has no interest in waking anybody up, but...
Okay. So you exit the tavern and you start making your way through the streets back over to the library that you had all visited before. And as you're making your way through these very kind of quiet streets, you still see a kobold or two, occasionally a troglodyte. Make a perception check.
Okay. Five.
Okay. You actually, as you're like cutting down an alleyway, you're getting relatively close to the library. You're deep in thought, and all of a sudden you just get crashed into by some kind of cloaked figure. And as you're knocked to the ground, this figure like quickly scrambles over you, giving you a couple small scratches. You can feel these clawed fingers. And it reeks like this individual smells god awful, and then they scurry off and continue running as fast as they possibly can in the opposite direction.
Wait.
The figure doesn't stop.
Can I cast Hold Person?
You can try.
Okay, I will do that.
What do I got to do? I got to roll a save, correct?
Yes, sorry.
Probably a wisdom.
It is, yes, a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 1 sec. That is an 18. Does that save?
That just fucking saves.
Okay. So I imagine it's more of a thing of not necessarily that the spell failed on your end. I imagine this person like halts for a moment and then just slow motion breaks out of it and continues to run.
Okay.
And they disappear down another alleyway.
They go down another alley.
Mm-hmm.
Can I like see like what direction were they running? Did it look like they were heading in any one particular way?
Hard to tell unless you continue to track them down. Because who knows, dodging between different buildings and around stalagmites and such.
No, he's too selfish. No, I think I would go out to the main street, or if I'm on the main street, I would just sort of watch to see if they come back out, and if they don't, and if I can't track them at all, he's going to continue with his mission to the library.
Okay, make another perception check.
Okay.
See if you notice anything.
Ooh, that's way better. 19.
You don't see them reappear in the street that you're on, and you're kind of on the main street right now.
Okay. He'll sort of brush off his cloak, all the dirt that...
Yeah, you see smears of like gunk, and you can smell that kind of awfulness again. And as you turn around and continue on your way to the library, you go down that same alleyway where this collision had just occurred, and it catches your eye. You realize why it stinks, because that smell becomes more prevalent to you. You see smeared on the wall in all sorts of filth is a weird symbol that looks almost like two horns with odd-looking eyes beneath them. And then, do you speak Draconic?
No.
Okay. You recognize it. I will say you're smart enough to recognize, but there is writing in Draconic underneath this odd kind of symbol.
Do I have any knowledge of that symbol?
Make a straight up investigation check for me. That'll give you the best clue of a different avenue if you recognize anything.
No religion or anything involved here?
You don't know yet. This will kind of narrow down your search if you
Gotcha. Oh fuck. 27.
Okay, yeah. It's actually a religion.
Okay. All right, so religion check then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I keep that roll?
No.
Oh, fuck. All right. I am going to burn one of my knowledges then. So I will mark that off. And this is still a D6, right? Yeah, that's a D6. Okay. Not bad at all. That is a 21 total.
It's like almost on the tip of your tongue, but you're not 100% certain, but you have an inkling in the back of your mind that whatever this symbol has to do with is something very dark and extremely old. Do you kind of continue to hang out in the alleyway, or do you
I think
kind of rush on your way to the library?
I'm gonna take a scrawling. Like I'm gonna pull out a page, and just do a very quick scrawling like you did of that symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will just put it on my list of things to look into at my destination.
Okay. You then continue on your way to the library, and as you're making your way there, I imagine you're kind of more vigil because of this odd symbol and this individual that you had run into. And in a couple smaller places, do you smell that odd stench and see one or two of these smaller, filthy symbols on different buildings until you finally make it to the library. You see it 3 other times in random locations. But you have officially arrived there.
They're all on the sides of buildings.
Yeah, they're like in alleyways and kind of dark corners, and there's even one on a stalagmite as well, kind of hidden by the natural shadows coming from the different layers and buildup of sediment.
Weird. Okay. I will, I'll enter the library.
Okay.
Are there any more cloaked figures around?
I can just tell you right now, no. You haven't noticed anybody.
Yeah, they're all gone.
You've seen a couple of other people walking about. You've seen our soldier or two actually on kind of like a patrol. And you see that they have noticed these odd filth kind of markings. And it seems like 1 or 2 of them were in conversation, and one before you entered the library seemed to be on its way to the coal-fire keep.
Interesting. Okay, that's something to bring up for the morning. Yeah, I'll duck into the library. I'll try to get some quick knowledge in.
There's no attendant inside. However, you find that the stacks and rows of various scrolls and bindings that they have are pretty well organized. So, what are you looking for right now?
Oh, this harkens back to the prologue. Back in the libraries. You always find your way home. I'll search for... I first want to look for something regarding mind flayers, whether that be a encyclopedia of underdark races or something with a anatomical map or different types.
Yeah, make a fresh investigation check.
Okay. It's cocked.
How dare it?
16.
16. You find a couple of journals that make passing mentions of mind flayers or illithids, only in part that the one that had come from the Society of Brilliance and kind of offered up their help as a society, trying to make the Underdark more habitable for people. And then, you see a couple stories of how generally should you encounter one, it's best to either hide, kill it as fast as possible, or get the hell out as quick as you can. Otherwise, your life is essentially forfeit, and you run the risk of them finding anyone related to you. But that's all you find.
Okay. It's frustrating. So he'll table that, and he will look quickly for any religious documents regarding putrid gods and their symbols.
Okay. Make another fresh check.
Alrighty. One of these is going to be a good roll. Not that one, though. 12.
You don't manage to find anything.
God damn it.
You're going through and you find some creatures like bestiaries that talk about different, or bestiaries, however you say it, talking about different animals in the Underdark that, you know, have a particular potent stench, but nothing like that you're looking for.
Need to convert this library to the Dewey Decimal System. You can't find anything here.
Flipping back to the tavern bedroom, however, Scylla and Starcaller, you both hear a knock at the door. Kind of awakes you both.
Oh, is it morning already?
Scylla, like, bubbles up to the surface of the tub. Is someone here?
I'm gonna grab Dawn's edge, and then, like, move towards the door. Hello? Hello? Is it anyone there?
You hear Sir Laertes on the other side of the door. Starcaller, I could, is it possible I could come in for a moment? I actually need to talk to you rather urgently.
Oh, of course. I'll, like, throw the door open and invite him in.
And you see that he's in there in his armor, and he kind of struts in and he goes, thank you very much. Is Scylla here as well?
Oh, yes, I'm in here. I can hear.
Oh, what? Oh, you're in the bath. I won't... Not looking, sorry.
Oh, no. I understand that you have different simple niceties than I do. I am sleeping. Well, this is where I sleep. It's fine.
Righto. Thank you for telling me. That's interesting to know. Listen, Starcaller, there's something that has come to the King and Queen's attention, and, well, our Majesty would like you to come with me and investigate it a little bit further, if you have the time and are willing, of course. I apologize, first and foremost, for the inconvenient time.
Oh, it is not a problem, my friend. Should I arm myself as you are?
Perhaps it would be best, yes. I'm not quite sure what we might be walking into.
Oh, excellent. Do we need any aquatic assistance?
Actually, and he kind of, like, knocks on the stone frame to the bathroom where you are, Scylla, and he goes, Scylla.
Yes?
There is actually there's another individual outside that would like to speak with you privately for a entirely different matter than myself and Starcaller's mission calls for.
Oh, sure, send them in. Starcaller, are you all right if I remain behind?
Oh, well, but of course, I have Dawn with me after all. And, like, I imagine, like, Starcaller's, like, halfway into his studded leather, just, like, in the corner, like, oh, one moment, please. I'm almost there.
Wait, Sephel?
It's Sephel. Oh. He appears to not be here.
He left a little while ago. Stool spores are spurting.
Oh, I am not used to that.
Sorry.
Hello, Stool.
You guys took so long to care that I wasn't there. I could have been kidnapped in the middle of the night. No one even fucking asked.
Oh, Well,
Yeah, he slunk away like a dirty rat.
Well, that sounds right. Nothing to look further into there.
I'm certain he's fine.
He didn't even say goodbye to me.
I knew I didn't like that toadstool.
All right. Well, Starcaller, should you need anything, leave word at the inn here.
Excellent. If I need word, I will yell very loud. So Laertes, let's be off.
Of course.
Okay.
Starcaller walks out, like, one hand, Dawn Edge, other hand, Gosplista in the other hand, like...
This is the textbook don't do this, by the way. This is every
right?
party member is walking in a different direction.
We should split
This
up.
this is the worst. Anyone listening, the worst possible thing that you can do as an adventuring party.
No. You hear the door shut, and you actually hear what sounds like armored footsteps coming into the room. Scylla, are you still hanging out in the bathroom?
I mean, yeah, if certainly Artomis says that this person's cool, she's not worried about it.
Okay. You see stepping into the door frame, looking in on you. I imagine you're just heads above the water.
Mm-hmm.
You see Queen Griselda, actually, and she's attired in plate armor.
Yeah, I think when she sees Queen Griselda, she like, and then she like stands up out of the tub and is like dripping wet, but gives like a really awkward dripping wet bow. She's just like totally naked, standing there awkwardly.
Queen Griselda like averts her eyes and just like waves her hand like, no need. It's quite all right.
It is so good to see you, Your Majesty. Yes, I will just sink back down. And she doesn't.
That's fair for the moment. I actually have rather a hard request of you, if you don't mind.
Of me?
Yes.
Oh, Sephel is not here, and Starcaller left as well.
No, I know. I noticed Sephel was not here, but I was not here looking for either of them.
Mm.
I would need you and your specific skills.
Oh, please tell me more.
And she kind of like motions towards a stool. She's like, may I sit for a moment?
She's not motioning towards stool. She's motioning toward a stool.
Different stool. Stool
Sorry.
puts his head in and he's like, what?
Common mistake.
Did you need to see? Yeah. I think she nods. I'm happy to help with whatever you may need, if it is something I believe I'm capable of.
Well, I myself believe it's something that you will be capable of, or I hope, I should say, that you'll be capable of. You see, my husband and I have been quite nervous about the opening of the hot springs. And, you know, I'll be honest, cutting out a character here, I totally thought someone was going to be like, oh god, it's a sex thing, when she was like, me and my husband have been...
Oh, yeah.
Did you read my brain from across the...
Yeah, right. Marital troubles.
Listen,
No marital trouble.
someone in his position and his age, impotence is totally natural.
I would say
Listen,
as long as you're
tentacle boy.
happy.
Listen, sometimes you need some tentacles to spice it up.
Oh god.
You know what I'm saying? I got 2 more on the way.
Nope.
No.
Ending that right now. Queen Griselda, she goes, we're quite nervous about opening the hot springs because we simply don't know what the conditions will be down there, what awaits us, and considering the damage that occurred with these creatures, I know you are doing us a great service already going down there to investigate, and my husband would love to leap into the fray with you. However, considering our child, and you notice that for like the first time that you've seen her, she doesn't have her baby with her. She goes, I in the kingdom would be put in quite a tumultuous position to lose him now. And well, I have quite possibly another solution if this idea works. However, it must stay between us and the few others that know about it. For if my husband knew, this would be very quickly hushed up and put away. But I'm rather desperate.
I can promise you, Your Majesty, that anything you should say that you would like to remain in competence will remain so. I should warn you that Stool can read my mind.
Ah, well, Stool, let's keep this between three of us, then, because you have heard me talking. And Stool, once again, leans into the room and is just like, okay.
Okay.
I won't say anything. And she turns back to you and she goes, do you think you could arm up and come with me?
Absolutely. If you wouldn't mind giving me just a few minutes, I can meet you in
Absolutely,
the hall.
of course. Yep, I will do that. Stool, good to see you. And she actually leaves the entire room. She goes back out into the hall.
Do I get the impression that she's like kind of slunk away here? Like she's like maybe.
I'll let you do a insight check.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a 10. Oh,
Okay.
Unless it's a 9.
A 9.
It's a 13. 13.
A 13? Wow,
those are three different numbers.
That's okay. You think you get the feeling that she's very nervous about what she's asking you to help her out with. Very sincere about her concern for both her husband and the potential severity that these actions could bring about. And that she and her arriving at both this hour and the request and her being on her own is definitely trying to keep it quiet.
Okay, cool. Scylla's gonna like get all strapped up and head out and meet her in the hall.
Okay. She nods her head at you and she just kind of starts walking down the stairs and she's like, come with me. We must be quick.
Mm-hmm.
And as you exit out onto the street, you realize you're heading south towards the big walled kind of fort-esque area that you were told was called the Periculum. And eventually you reach kind of this entryway where there's these stairs that go up to the left and right. And as you start walking up the stairs with her, she goes, quite some time ago, while the Scale Guard was on patrol and returning quite quickly towards the Gate Castle, they encountered, I guess you could say, an individual that attacked them and forcibly made their way through the 15-man squad and broke into our gate castle. Part of our very hidden and illusion defenses that we have now, disguising our way into it, is because of this individual. They are monstrous, to say the least. And it took us quite a few more lives to restrain them. We could not manage to put them down, and we have never seen their like since, and I'm not quite sure you will even know what they are. But this creature, this individual, seems to only respond to acts of strength, violence. And now, after so many years of holding it, I think if we could finally truly subdue it, that it might be convinced to be used or pointed at our enemies now within the hot springs. Of course, this is quite a large gamble, and while we have tried this once before, it did not... It almost had a code. We don't know what language it speaks, but it does speak. And while as before it had cut down so many of us before, now it seems when one comes to challenge, only then does it respond.
I
And
see.
as she finishes that, you guys come out and you're amongst the stands on the walls that look down into the periculum, and you see a number of figures moving down on the stony floor, and you see that there is like, you know what an Iron Maiden is?
No.
They're like
torture device.
yeah, it's almost like a steel or iron coffin, essentially.
Oh, it's like
that
the
is
chokey.
shaped. What?
The
What's the
chokey?
chokey?
What
You never seen? You never seen Matilda? It's like when Principal Trunchbull threatens to put her in like the spiky closet.
Yes,
Oh,
that is an
yes.
Iron Maiden.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sick.
You see a very large one of those being dragged out into the middle of this arena of sorts. And you see one of the, you recognize amongst all the kobolds there, while most of them are armored, one of them is dressed differently as a platinum talon. You know, these kind of cleric-y figures. And she goes, I'm asking you, Scylla, if you would enter into the ring with this individual and help us subdue it, so that we might use it against the Slot.
Wow. That is... Huh. And could you describe this creature again?
They are incredibly tall. They have
Interesting.
this odd grey, bluish skin with a body covered in scars.
Wow.
The skin is almost gaunt. Well, perhaps it's best just to show you them.
Yeah.
And you see that there are a number of chains that actually go into this Iron Maiden, and you see that as you guys have like come down the stairs of the stadium towards the lower levels, which are still up about like 20 to 25 feet from the floor, that these guys are holding these two kobolds on like these 4 different chains, and they lead into the Iron Maiden. You see them like tugging back and forth like really hard, and you can see it's like rattling inside, and you can just hear these muffled like, and you see the platinum talon kind of like wave everybody off, and they let go of the chains, and the chains like shoot inwards towards the Iron Maiden, just clang, 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 hit off of it, and then they go still for a moment, and then he like waves everybody off to the side, and he follows till eventually he makes his way up and around to you, and he looks at the both of you and kind of bows to the queen and goes, Madam, are you ready? And she nods, and he snaps his fingers, and you just hear this like and you see the Iron Maiden just stay still for a moment, and then collapse. And from within it, you see this 8-foot-tall, skeletal, gaunt, lean-bodied, gray-blue skin, scars decorating them, these swirling kind of paints about them. Incredibly long white-gray hair, most of it running free, different braids in some of it. A kind of Norse-esque helm sits upon it with deep furrows in it, and it has this busted cheek guard on one side, and one that kind of still comes down and hangs very barely. They wear this kind of beaten-looking rusted chainmail that kind of hangs off their narrow frame. And you see these like woolly breeches that go down to these tight-laced kind of calf coverings, and then these large bare feet. And from the stands on the other sides, the kobolds that were holding the chains, you see the chains lead to manacles on the wrists and ankles of this individual, and they throw down, a couple of them heave down this like heavy cast iron looking crude sword, and on the other side they drop what looks like a very large lump of metal with a shaft. It almost looks like a destroyed hammer of sorts. And this figure's head was kind of like bent over, and it just kind of like wavers back and forth and looks up and just kind of stares out at you and doesn't move.
Oh, so we're meeting it now.
If you don't want to do this, Scylla, I
No. I am. I think Scylla like turns to Queen Griselda like fully, and I think she will like, just like square her shoulders and just. I am incredibly grateful for the respite which we have received in your city, and I would not want anything to happen to your people or to your husband, yourself, and your family. If this is what I can offer, I am happy to do so. And then she looks over at the creature, like quickly, and then she just like looks back again, like, I'm sure it's fine.
Don't think we're letting you in there just to die. That is not the case. Myself and our friend here of the Platinum Talon, we will be supporting you, healing you from whatever wounds may come your way. We need to subdue this creature. I think if you can best it truly, it will bend the knee to you and respond to your call.
That is interesting. Well, I say we just onward. I will do this.
Thank you. And you can either go around to a lower entrance, you can jump over the side, whatever you want to do, but they're like, there you go.
Yeah, I think she will walk down to a lower entrance. But she's like, from the moment that she said onward, let's do this, she's looking over the railing and she is dead-eyeing this creature. Like, from the very moment that she decided she's going in, it is like, its posture, body language, all of that is very much like a, I'm in charge.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she'll walk down.
So you make your way down and you officially enter into the arena. These doors open, and a very gladiator-esque, you march out alone into this large kind of stadium arena, and the doors close behind you. You see the queen and the Platinum Talon gentleman standing up on the stands behind you. And as you get closer, you can see more and more of this gaunt, very old, like, this is no insult to anybody that's older. We're all gonna get there. When someone's quite older, it's like you can see everything, like the skin looks almost papery and it's like wrinkled. It's like that, but it looks too tight upon this individual, and you see this incredibly lean, hard muscle, and you can actually see like underneath the bits of chainmail that still cling to their torso, like a big bony hip kind of like protrudings from the side. They look almost skeletal. And as you get closer, you see on the side where the cheek plate is missing on this helm, their mouth kind of has a Joker-esque Glaswegian smile cut that kind of goes up in this horrid scar, and you can see it wasn't even really healed together. And one eye looks like it's been clawed at from all sorts of angles, and you see it's just an empty socket, and in the other you just see what looks like a horrible white cataract filled eye, but it seems to be eyeballing you. And as it sees you approach, It walks over to one side, retrieves the hammer-like weapon, walks back over to the other, grabs the horrible-looking sword, and then marches back to the middle and just looks at you. And you can see it breathing, just...
Ooh.
And like, there's that lull. What do you do?
Like just silence when they're like heavy breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Scylla is going to she's gonna drop her bag.
Okay.
She's gonna kick off her shoes so that she's barefoot with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna start she has her shield and her trident. She's gonna like spin the trident in one hand, and she's gonna like dead eye this creature and start like walking circles around it.
Okay,
just,
kind of like a square off.
Exactly. And I want to take the dodge action.
Okay. So you're prepared, you're getting down in your stance, you're starting to move in this circle. This creature, this individual starts mimicking you.
Mm-hmm.
And then after about a rotation, it very quickly pivots to face directly at you, and then just lets out this horrible high-pitched, like careening scream, just and takes off at you.
Oof.
And we'll roll initiative after we go with Starcaller.
Yikes.
Oh, what a lovely night to be out, my friend.
Oh,
All
that's
of us
cool.
are at the library.
Can we skip the commercial break? Can we?
I mean, if you guys really want to.
I don't like the military channel. Let's go back to
I need
UFC.
some time.
Yeah.
Let's go back to UFC.
But Starcaller, you have been making your way through the city with Laertes until you approach the Coalfire Keep. And you, as you kind of pass beyond it, you eventually see a couple different figures. You see a few different soldiers, and you see the king. And Laertes has kind of been quiet, and I imagine you've probably asked him, like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm not entirely certain, but we're going to find out. And as you finally kind of meet up with this group, you see that near one of these smaller openings where part of the river, all these streams kind of flow together to make this river, you see that the water pouring out of this one opening is like this blackish green ichor seems to be flowing out of it and bleeding into the rest of the river, and it smells awful.
That does not seem good.
King Boletaire, hearing you, kind of turns around and goes, "Oh yes, Starcaller, thank you for coming, but no, it's not very good, whatever this is. I called upon you because I've received reports that well, I have not informed you. Since our new arrivals and the closing of the hot springs, there have been odd symbols and made out of, well, I won't go into details, but nasty bits and pieces and liquids appearing all over the city, more and more often. And now it seems the river is starting to be infected by this similar filth, as we can see here. And now I've ordered some of the soldiers here to find a couple of engineers and a smithy, see if we can't block off this entrance. We can't have this going into the river. The river is all we have for clean water and for bathing down at the other end. The people are already squeamish as is. And we're so close to opening up the springs and hopefully finding an answer. I don't know if this is something that can be contained, but I need you and your new companions to keep an eye on these symbols, perhaps figure out who's behind it. However, tomorrow, later today, really, we made a little extra progress when opening the hot springs, and we must stick to that. If we can get that open, we'll be fine. But I need you to keep an eye out on these strange symbols, figure out who these individuals are that are smearing filth and disgusting symbols all about the city. You know us, we are clean people, and this just will not stand.
Absolutely not, my king. I will pursue it to the best of my abilities, but pray tell, what is the symbol that is mocking the hallowed halls of Din Khan?
And he waves over a soldier. And if this was like a movie, we would recognize it as one of the ones that was talking to the other one. Sephel had seen them before going into the library. And he comes up and he holds out like this kind of paper-esque material. And you see the horns with the odd eyes beneath them. And these other symbols, what looks like some kind of writing, perhaps. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Draconic, Leonin, and Undercommon.
Okay. You understand that it is Draconic, and you see it says, "The Emperor of Filth returns and calls on us to lower ourselves into his embrace."
Oh no.
Yes, that is
This seems
quite
bad.
Yeah, no, it's not great. I don't know who this Emperor of Filth is, and I don't want to know. We already got enough troubles. Starcaller, you've already done enough for us, and I truly can't thank you enough for it all. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but
No, please, King, my king, think nothing of it. What is the use of a blade if not in action? It would be my pleasure to keep us safe and, as fast as we can. The hot springs might be a balm to this particular wound.
we can only hope that is the case. But I would like you and Laertes perhaps to patrol the streets, and he ushers to the same soldier and he hands over a couple like big sticks of chalk, and he's like, if you could just mark where the soldiers could come through and quickly wash away these symbols. I would prefer that they are not there when the general populace awakes. They've already been whispering about it, but I would like them to remain calm. And as if this is something to do with the troubles within the hot springs, we are so close to fixing it, I would rather not cause larger panic than is necessary.
Of course, my king. It would be my pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I must keep an eye on these engineers, and hopefully we can disguise this well enough that nobody notices a small drop in the water levels, and this filth will wash away quickly. Thank you.
Of course. So Laertes. There we go.
Laertes nods at you. So what's kind of going through Starcaller's head right now?
Stormcrawlers is a little taken aback. This is like the kingdom of Ember has been such a place of safety for him, despite the trials he's taken while he's been here, that he's genuinely quite concerned about something that's kind of eating away at the heart of this place.
Yeah.
And he is actually very motivated. As soon as him and Laertes are away, my friend, would you perhaps be interested in seeing if we can find the perpetrators this very night, as well as destroying the symbols they've been etching?
I would truly like nothing better, my friend.
Excellent. Then as we go about our patrol, I'm going to take a moment to cast Detect Poison and Disease, with the hope that if someone is lowering themselves to the Empire of Filth, they might be trackable with this kind of poison.
Okay. What's the range on that?
30 feet.
30 feet.
And the duration's 10 minutes, so I'm kind of hoping to keep it up as we're patrolling and just seeing if anything pops.
Sure. Considering the largeness of the kingdom, I imagine you and Laertes are like setting off at a trot, trying to make cover as much ground as you possibly can very quickly, marking an X here and there where you find this filth. And everywhere you do come across one of these symbols, it pings as both poison and disease. It's just this nasty concoction of waste and food gone bad and different things like that. And you go for almost the entire 10 minutes until you feel one of these pings as smaller, but it seems to be growing. And as you and Laertes get closer, you turn around a corner and you see a small cloaked individual, and you see them. Their hands are like into this filth and just smearing on the walls one of these symbols. What do you do?
How far away are they? Am I pretty close, or?
You're like 30 feet away. They haven't noticed you yet.
Sick. Yeah, then what I'd like to do is sneak up as close as I can get to them, and motion layers just do the same, and then I'm gonna try to do like a stealthy takedown, like non-lethal, because I want to be able to talk to them, but getting close and kind of like restrain them.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, Laertes, good job. Good job.
Cool. That's a 27 for Artomis.
Laertes rolled a nat 20 for a 25. You guys are crushing it. This individual doesn't notice you, so you are quite capable of getting right up behind them without them noticing.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the half Nelson and kick out one of their knees behind them to take them down to the ground.
Make a strength check. We can do athletics.
Cool. Athletics.
Oh, fuck.
Not
great for me.
15?
Okay, you matched, but I'm going to say it's going to go to you. Tygo's the runner here for this. You just managed to keep a hold on this individual. You kick out the leg, and it's like as you're going in with the arm, your hand and armor slips on this individual, and the cloak comes back, and you see it's a kobold that has covered themselves in mud and fecal matter, and you're like, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. That's a 14.
Okay. You're all right. You managed to keep back from throwing up. But this individual is just flailing their arms and racking at your arms. They're just let go. He must finish spreading his filth.
We will not be doing that. No. What has become of you? What has happened here?
I've seen the ways, the truth. We have been the unclean ones for so long. He wants us to return to our roots, to our home. We are but beasts, rolling in the dirt and the mud. This is how we truly are. Why can't you see? See with us. And they're reaching backwards, trying to rub this filth on your face.
Oh, nope. Absolutely not. Nope. You know what? And I'm gonna pump a purify food and drink through him to try to just clean him off.
Okay. Let's do another strength check to see, because you're not just pouring it on him, you're pouring it in, trying to shove it down his throat.
Wait, it's a spell.
It's a spell. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. The purify food and drink. So I am pressing on his chest and trying to thump the magic through him.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Can you read me what the spell does? I get it from the title, but I want to know the fine details here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm, as ever, beyond the ken of the actual spell description. But
that's okay.
All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice is purified and rendered free of poison and disease.
You know
Well,
what? Oh, go ahead.
What are people if not food?
I was going to say, there's an important question here. Has Starcaller ever looked at a kobold and just been like,
Looking kind of tasty.
alligator
anything
can get
can be
real
food, I
crispy.
guess.
Kobold has to be the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
God
Beatrice-
damn.
Beatrice
I bet
is
they
a
taste
snack.
like crocodile.
Beatrice is a snack.
Hey, that's a different kind of eating, all right?
Oh,
That is
amazing.
dessert, and you know it.
Oh.
Nah, that is a whole ass meal. You treat that woman with respect.
I like where your head's at, and I'm gonna give it to you actually, because I like this use of this spell that I feel like never ever sees action. You see all the filth that was about their face and their hands start like just kind of evaporates away, and their eyes become a little bit clearer, but they're still kind of like make actually make an Arcana check.
Excellent. I did so well on my Arcana exam. That's a 12 minus 2 is 10.
Okay. I'm gonna have Laertes run here on this roll. Not much better. But the two of you think that this individual has to be washed. There's something about this particular filth that is on them and they might have possibly ingested is definitely fucking with their mind. And so you think if you guys go dunk him in the river and like wash all of this filth off of him, maybe he'll come to.
Yes. I think our friend here needs a bath, Laertes.
Absolutely. I think that is quite a brilliant idea.
Excellent. And yeah, we'll go give him a dunkski.
Yeah, you guys kind of like arm in arm drag him down to the river, and he's like, no, let me be. I don't want to be washed. It's not right. It's not right. And you guys just like run in there, I'm assuming, and like, let's go down to the river. Baptism, just like throw him in there. Waterboarding essentially, or whatever. Until eventually he's clean, and you pull yourselves out, and they're just kind of breathing heavy, but this look they kind of had over them seems to have dissipated, and they're like, what happened? Why am I here by the riverbed?
Oh, my friend, do you not remember what you have been doing?
I'm not sure. I'm very tired. Was I writing something on a wall?
Yes. Do you remember why?
I remember someone came to my house, and then it was very late. Why did they come so late? But I remember opening the door, and then something smelled horrible. And then I remember eating something, and it tasted awful, and then I saw a great big beast. It had these horrible eyes and these bumps all over its skin and these horns. And then I just felt this need to cover myself in filth. And then that's right, I had to spread his message. I had to spread the Emperor of Filth, his word. But I didn't want to. I swear I didn't want to. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, friend. I thank you for telling us this, and Sir Laertes, we must bring this report to the king as soon as we can. There are bad actors among the townspeople.
Laertes kind of nods and he goes, I don't know that we should leave this gentleman here, though.
Oh,
What
no,
if
we
this
should
is only temporary?
Probably. We should bring him with us for sure.
Yes. I'm quite sorry, sir, but you will have to be coming with us. And he goes, oh, all right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he kind of follows the two of you back towards the coal-fire keep in the direction of the king. And now we're going to jump to Sephel. Sephel, you've been in the library for a little while now.
Yeah,
What's
boring old me at the book club.
Yeah, you're having your fun. You're doing your thing.
Nothing is going amiss. Does this library... I have to ask. Is there a restricted section?
Is there a restricted section?
He's contractually obligated to ask.
I have to ask.
Make an investigation check.
All right. Ooh, so sweet. 25.
Okay. You find that as you get deeper and deeper into the back, into the older and older scrolls, you find that there's actually a smaller alcove that you would have probably missed if it wasn't... It looks like somebody had moved a bookshelf to kind of make things more ergonomical, but in between them you see that there is a shelf that is hidden behind the others in an alcove.
Okay, I will sort of squeeze my way in there.
Make a dex check. Just squeeze.
Just a raw dex check?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see if your tentacles can make it through this crack.
Gotta add some slime. Probably not great. 11?
That's enough. You manage to very tightly squeeze your way in to this smaller alcove with these hidden scrolls and books.
Okay. Obligatory pop of detect magic.
You don't detect any magic.
Okay. What am I... Is there like a bunch of stuff here? Like, are these more like bookshelves on bookshelves, or is this like a very finite amount of...
This is a very finite amount. They are like almost more like not necessarily a shelf, though it's situated like that. They're more like stone cubbies, essentially, little holes, square holes in the rock here. And you see that there are 6 of them. And in each one are a different collection of scrolls and what looks like thin, almost like folios, and what looks like a couple of journals as well.
Got you. All right, quickly browse, see if anything looks intriguing, if anything rings a bell, like if there's any reference to... Actually, you know what? This is a really deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look for anything that mentions the name Kessel. A car Kessel.
Yeah, you peruse through, and as you are making your way through the different scrolls, folios, and smaller books here, you realize that these are journals of the earliest citizens of the Kingdom of Ember. And you're not finding anything about this particular individual that you're searching for, but you see that it's a lot of diaries and notes about the Dragonborn that helped lead them to this place, and how it took them a very long time to kind of fortify themselves for the weird smattering of creatures that were appearing from the far kind of northern areas of the ruins.
Yeah, anything that mentions in more detail what happened at those ruins? Like more talk of the actual events?
You see 3 different journals pertaining particularly to the ruins, and it seems to be from a kind of like a lieutenant for the chief at the time. And he remarks that these creatures appeared draconic in nature. They had an odd humanoid form, but they appeared in different sizes and shapes and, different size wings. There was these small black ones and occasionally these larger brutes. And every once in a while, after these kind of surges of these draconic-like creatures, and, the Kingdom of Ember's soldier numbers would kind of dwindle, they had a really hard time retrieving the bodies. And the second journal continues on to say that as the days went on, they would see their friends that they had watched fall reappear from these odd mists alongside these draconic-like creatures. But they all had one thing in common. They looked like they had some kind of wound in their skull. And then the third one talks about the building of the wall, how in an all-out push with the help of the Amethyst Dragonborn, Margul Narin, they were able to push back these forces, and Margul had seemingly cast some kind of spell that left him very weak, that stopped the forces from appearing. They don't know what the spell was, but it had somehow stopped their almost unceasing advance, and that allowed them to finish the construction of the wall. And in the days afterwards, before this journal entry ends, no signs or sounds had occurred, but a couple individuals scouts had gone out forward, only to reappear on the other side of the wall, 20, 30 feet away from where the others were standing up above, with no memory of going over the wall, what they saw, or why they even went there. Even if they had been given a direct order a minute before to go over the wall and investigate. The other very interesting thing, is a private journal of Chief Inek. This is King Boletair's father, the former king. And he's talking about how after the sealing of the ruins, as they eventually came to call it, and the large spell that Nargul Narin had conducted, he seemed very weak afterwards, and he would often spend his days in his stone hovel to the far south within the greater cavern here. And one day he came in private to Chief Inek, and he doesn't say what the full conversation was between them, but he notes, "I must keep my secret, for his secret, till my dying days, and my sons and their sons or daughters must carry as well. It must be protected. It must be preserved. It will be our guide forever." And you see that there's a picture, a drawing, and it shows the hilt of what looks like a sword, very finely crafted, with a purple gem in the pommel. Make an intelligence check.
Just straight intelligence.
Yep.
Can I add my knowledge to this?
If you want to.
I will. This seems important.
Seems interesting.
Okay. It is a dirty 20.
You recognize this hilt. It is the sword that King Balater carries on his hip.
Mm-hmm.
And now we jump back to an arena with Scylla and a screaming, giant, pale blue skin scarred individual. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Seems fine.
Seems fine. It's totally fine. Let's jump back to the map.
Yeah, good initiative roll, Sam. Good job.
Good job. This is great.
Great,
I'm going to go ahead and put us more towards the middle of this map with a little bit of distance between us. Alrighty. Ooh. No. Oh,
I'm pretty sure we know what's happening here.
Scylla, what you got?
I got a 5.
Oof. This individual got a 23. It makes sense because dramatically they were charging at you.
Totally.
Does it make
I was
high
dodging.
rolls feel less fun when we roll like shit?
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Does it make it less exciting? Like, ooh, I got a natural 20 versus your 2.
Congratulations.
I wanted there to be more of a contest. I want you guys to win, you know?
Yeah, okay.
I do.
Go ahead and kill another one of Sam's characters.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Should rip my heart out. It's fine.
So this 8-foot tall person with this long braided hair, gaunt skin, starts running and screaming at you, and they're gonna move right up to you, and they're going to make a couple attacks here. Are you
I
ready,
did declare dodge.
You did, so I have disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wait, hang on, I gotta redo that roll. There's something else at play for them. Okay, so first comes in this lumpy looking kind of hammer. 16 does not hit you, right?
Correct.
So I imagine it swings, misses just right by you. You manage to dodge out of the way.
I think she's tumbling out of the way.
Okay. Second attack is a 20.
Nope.
Okay, so they carry this momentum through with this kind of warhammer and then come overhead stabbing down with this crude looking sword, and you dodge backwards and it sinks into the ground and they like rip both back, and that is just checking here. Yes, that is the end of their turn. It is now your turn.
All right. Scylla swings up with her trident. That is a 24 to hit.
That is a hit. And if you can, describe these attacks to me. What you're going for.
Yeah. I think so. He's done these 2 swings with this lumpy hammer, as you keep describing it. And
you know what? It looks like cast iron. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's been hit on stuff so many times that like the edges are peeling back and smithing and stuff like that. It's called upsetting. So like one side looks a little bit more worn and beaten, and then the sword looks like a migration era kind of classic Viking sword with an unadorned hilt, and it looks like it's pitted and rusted and also made out of this horrible cast iron like material. Heavy. It doesn't look like it even holds an edge on this sword as well.
Okay. So he swings twice. She like rolls out of the way, and then as he's like rearing back, she just she's like on one knee and she like rams her trident forward to stab directly in the chest.
Okay.
And so I'm actually going to make this a trip attack as well. So I'm going to add a d8.
Okay.
And then he needs to make a strength saving throw DC 15.
DC 15 strength. I'm going to use my metal die. You said 18?
DC 15.
DC 15, okay. I rolled a 12 plus a big number for 19.
No worries.
I was like, I'm going to give up this individual number. They're going to know. They have +7 to their strength.
Sick. Okay. 14 points of piercing.
Okay. You stick your trident into the chest, and it sinks through that horrible pitted and broken chainmail, and it rips back, and this blood gushes forth, and they look down. Growls at you.
You will not win this fight. And she's going to bonus action shove with her shield.
Okay. Another strength
so
check?
it's going to be a contested. Yeah, I'm going to roll athletics.
Okay, let's see here. That's a 15 for me.
That's a 17 for me.
Okay.
And I will
you
knock
managed
them
to.
prone.
Nice. Okay, they are not prone. I'm not going to bother marking it because it's just going to go right back to them. 14 points of damage as well. All right.
So now, when you're prone, disadvantage on attack rolls.
Melee attacks have advantage.
You have advantage against me.
Yes.
I have advantage.
Yeah.
But they have disadvantage if they make a. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I want to kind of like. So I'm imagining that she stabs him with the trident, and then as she says that, she like shoves her body forward with all of her weight, like pushes her shield into their chest so that they fall back. And then she's gonna back up her full movement 30 feet, which I think does provoke an attack of opportunity at disadvantage.
Okay. Okay, that is an 18 at disadvantage, which I don't think hits you.
It does not. So I think right now she's like playing this like she's trying to like exhaust this creature by keeping them constantly moving and being knocked down.
Okay. Yeah, you stab in. I imagine you come underneath, you hit it with the shield, you knock it down. It falls backwards, and as you start like retreating backwards, it like does a crunch forward and just like hucks the sword at your feet, trying to like get it at you, missing, landing right between your feet, and you manage to dance away. And it will. Is that the end of your turn, or do you have more?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Jumping back to it like propels itself up, and at a sprint picks up the sword and just starts careening at you once again. But it has half movement from getting up, so yes, let me double check movement here. Yes, okay, that's as far as they are able to get, so they're about 15 feet away from you.
Okay. My turn?
Yes.
They're like sprinting toward her, and then she's gonna come forward 10 feet. She's gonna swing.
Okay.
That is a 23 to hit.
That is a hit.
That's gonna be a trip attack.
Okay.
Strength save again, DC 15. And
26.
10 piercing damage.
Okay.
So, and then she will bonus action shove. Contest athletics.
All right. Oof. That's an 11.
Well, I got math. I got a 13. So
Okay, you win once again.
Okay, yeah. So he's like sprinting toward her, and she runs forward to her 10 feet of movement, reaches out again. I think this time with I know it's piercing damage, but she like swings out with the butt end of her trident this time to like smack him across the face. And then as she pulls her trident back, she will smash forward with her shield again to knock them prone yet again. And she will dance away 20 feet.
beautiful. You hit them across the face. You hear this sickening crack, and then you follow up with a shield, and they go down once again. And you see this time they get up a lot slower, and they just spit this loogie of blood, and this like the almost Joker-esque half smile kind of like appears, and they just start walking towards you, kind of reevaluating you. And as they get 10 feet closer to you, 15 feet away, you see they very quickly drop the very heavy sword and then whip around, and a hand axe starts flying towards you. That is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. That is going to do... Nice. Max damage. 10 points of slashing damage. And then it is going to throw another one. That is a 19 doesn't hit you, right?
Nope.
What's your AC now? 22, 23?
22.
22, yeah. You're
Yeah.
crazy. So it drops its sword and very quickly just hucks these two hand axes at you, trying to make their movements disguise it. The first one catches you, and I imagine it like dents in your armor a little bit, and then you come forward and you manage to bounce it right off your shield. And then they get another 5 feet closer and picking up the sword as they're coming, and they get a little low once more. It is your turn.
Okay, she like takes the blow, and when she turns back, I think she's like still making that like very serious like stare down eye contact. And she just says, "Stand down. I do not want to down you, but I will." And she will then stalk forward her 5 feet. She will attack.
Okay.
So with this one, I want to do 25. I know hits, so I want to do a menacing attack.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is gonna be a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. You want to give me that damage first?
10.
10 points of damage. Okay. Where do you hit?
No, I'm sorry. 10 plus my damage modifier, which is 15. 15.
Okay. Another 5 there. Describe how you hit them to make this kind of menacing thing. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I think this is like I think this is her like sprinting forward another 5 feet and using her trident to like stab at their like leg in such a way as to cripple. But like she doesn't actually want to cripple, but you know what I like the frightening of like, oh my gosh, if I get hit in my leg in this way, like that could really take me out like entirely.
Okay. Sure. DC 15 Wisdom save, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do some different die here.
I will say I also think she's stalking forward with like there's been one other time on the previously in the Whirlstorm tunnels where she like dropped her like attempt at being normal, and I think she's dropped that again here where like her jaw has fully unhinged and her like tentacly hair stuff fin hair is like also like waving around and like twitching and like like kind of like shivering in a strange otherworldly way.
Love it.
So she's also got that going on.
You're sinking into your battle master prowess, showing your true colors here. I imagine I have the roll here, by the way. You go to sink your trident in. You know this is a horrible blow, and you like as you go in, you see this individual shift in such a way that like as you are going for the calf, you end up sinking all 3 prongs of your trident deep into their thigh. You can see the barbed end makes it through the other side, and then you like try to pull back, but they push their leg in such a way that you it like jerks your arm forward, so it's like you're stuck. And then your face, you realize, is right next to theirs, and they just turn it. And their skin is so tight, you can see as their lips pull back in this horrible Joker-esque smile, that in continued cut up the cheek. You can see this missing rotted teeth, a couple gold and silver looking like replacements. And then you just hear... and this individual frenzies. And that's where we'll leave it today.
Oh man, is that the time? We're overdue for another check-in with you fine listeners. Thanks as always for being here right up to the outro. We really appreciate that. You will never believe this, but we recently hit our 1-year podcast anniversary and 3,500 downloads. It's truly been a blast. We're having just a grand old time, and we look forward to another 50 episodes to come. Hopefully you join us for those next 50. That being said, we do have an exciting announcement. We have launched a Ko-fi page. Yes, that's Ko-fi page. There's no pressure to do so, but if you want to toss a coin to your witchers, that's us. You can head to ko-fi.com/themadness-table. All donations will go first toward our monthly operating costs, which include our podcast hosting software, items like that. But our ultimate dream is to be able to upgrade our setups, to be able to offer live stream recording sessions to get that sweet, sweet video content to accompany our audio. If you're not able to donate, but you want to support the show, we would just adore you if you left that 5-star review in whatever podcatcher you're currently listening in, or if you just spread the word and tell a friend. We would be eternally grateful for that support. So that's it. Until next time, when...
Madness